Hello, ladies and gents! So, how's everyone's T54E1 grind going? Although I'm not specifically grinding for it, I have been playing a lot lately, so I'm actually off to a surprisingly good start. We'll have to see about it though. I did unfortunately just fall short with the DKMX marathon because, apparently, marathons and newborn babies don't mix that well. But that's probably enough about that. I have something a lot more exciting planned for today. Courtesy of Crusader, we will watch today a great performance in the powerful but often disliked Tier 9 autoloader, the T54E1. What? A 1 vs 5 in an autoloader with only 4 shells in a magazine? This should be fun. Oh, trust me, it will. Check this one out. Alright, so here we are in our T54E1, this time around in a standard battle on the Sacred Valley map. Now have a look at this matchmaking, it's rather juicy, isn't it? We are actually one of the few Tier 9s on our team, and we will be shooting mostly Tier 8s and actually even some Tier 7s, and well, this machine will definitely be able to clip those. Talking about clipping tanks, that's definitely the main feature of the E1. It has a nice bursty gun. It's basically a 4-shell autoloader that's capable of dishing out 1560 damage on average, if all the shells roll average at least. But there are quite a lot of drawbacks to it. First of all, the gun handling is quite abysmal. You have almost a 2.8 second aim time, a 0.38 meters dispersion, and your penetration is only 210 millimeters as well, which is not unusable, but at Tier 9 and Tier 10 you really have to flank the enemy to make it work. That's the trick with this machine. It has a rather sluggish power to weight ratio, armor that's really more trollish than reliable. Then again, this is really a close to maximum mid-range assassin. So you have to get in, pump the shells into the weaker parts of the enemy, and then you have to get out. And you can't do this in a quickly fashion as well, so positioning is absolutely the key with this machine, and a lot of people find it utterly frustrating to play it, because, well, if you mess up the positioning, you will be out from the match with no damage very quickly. If you do it right, however, well, just watch and see. So, focusing on the game, we are making a rather aggressive move here, but we can definitely do so because, well, most of the team has been spotted on the other side, and that flank is pretty much doomed to fail at this point. Oh, but what do we have here? T29. Well, Tier 7 heavy tank, that's 2, and with a little bit of help from our teammates, 3 shells were basically overkill for that machine. And that's how quickly T54E1 can rack up the damage. Now we have to be quick here. Definitely have to take out all the enemies on this side because there is only a limited window of opportunity until all those heavy tanks on the other side eventually grind our teammates into burning wrecks. Now we have to be careful. There is the Skoda T50 has been spotted right up there to the right, which is basically our counterpart, the Tier 9 autoloader, and that will be probably the most dangerous guy we will be able to meet here. That was actually a very lucky bounce from the Waffenträger of Panzer IV. Our Trex did take up the shot. This shot could be game-changing. Lovely shot there into the side of the artillery. With 3 shells remaining, there is no reason to reload, but there is the dastardly T50. And yeah, well, that was a little bit too cheeky, I feel, from our part. We basically allowed that guy to empty his clip into us. After taking 1 shot, we should have got into cover immediately, because that guy has a very bursty gun, and well, we have to wait for 2.2 seconds between each shell, pretty much giving him the opportunity that he needs to do a lot more damage to us than we will be able to do to him. So, we are down to half health, unfortunately. Already about 2000 damage and 2 kills, but, well, it's not looking too good, is it? Half of the enemy team is probably going back to deal with us, the other half is making a move to our cap, and well, only the artillery is there, so they should be able to start capping really easily. Catching a TVP unaware though, really unfortunate there, as was a slightly below average roll. Luckily our teammates got him. This, however, is a really tricky situation. We have one shell left, and there is a one-shot IS-3 and a one-shot T-50. That's a lot of one-shot tanks, and with only one shell remaining, we would only have the possibility to take out one, and then we will be jumped by the others as soon as they realize that we are reloading. Let's not do that. We have the possibility to retreat, so let's use it, especially as someone is in the cap. Which probably is the T-37. Now let's hope that we will not jumped by the 1390, which could be pretty nasty. Seems the 1390 is going back probably as well, so that means we should be able to squish that Tier 6 light tank. As you can see, we have a reasonable speed here, the top speed of 53 km/h, but we are not going that fast really, even on relatively even terrain. That's because we have only a 15 horsepower top power to weight ratio. Casual shot into the T-37, however, as expected, all the other enemies did take out our teammates now. There was nothing we could have done. If we would have stayed, we might have been able to defend them, but then the T-37 would have easily kept out. So this was definitely the right call. Right now, however, we are just reloading, and the reload on this thing is rather long actually. So if that 1390 jumps on us right now, we will be in a lot of trouble. And also, if all those guys come together, well, we might be able to take out quite a few of them, because they are pretty much mostly on low health. At the same time, the remaining enemies will simply roll over us. Now we made the call here to move up to this little village and take up a defensive position on the high ground, which is actually quite a nice thing to do. We should be able to remain here hidden, and if anybody is moving down below, like that very unfortunate IS-3, should be able to assassinate him now. We did not have been spotted. It's pretty obvious where we are hiding, so let's see if anybody is dumb enough to make the same mistake. There are still 4 enemies remaining. Could be really tricky. Oh, that is one. 1390 is making an aggressive move on us. Let's not waste any shells. That guy will be a 2-shot if we are able to connect both of them. And, well, that was a little bit too cheeky there. He takes 1 shot but misses us. That means we are able to take him out, but we can expect that the others are not too far behind either. So let's quickly reload and hightail it out of there. Now, I would probably run a little bit further, but we decide to stay on this corner and probably look for another opportunity as soon as the gun is reloaded. Indeed, there we go. Let's see if somebody is making maybe a push on the other side. Oh, there we go, Skoda T50. Now that is a dangerous one. We take 1 hit. He makes an aggressive push. Another low roll. But we managed to finally connect the shell, and that means that probably the most dangerous opponent is out of the game as well. Unfortunately though, he managed to pump 2 more shells into us, and that means we are a 1-shot for both the IS-3 and also for the T-30, so yeah, this can be very tricky. Basically, no more mistakes can be had, we can't really rely on our armor, and well, let's cross fingers that they are not coming together. Oh boy, yes they are, and they know exactly where we are, And we are pretty much sitting ducks here. We can't actually run away from this position without giving them our side or rear, so... well, let's hope they mistime their push. IS-3 is a one-shot, T-30 is a one-shot as well, so it is possible, but it will be very, very close. Come on, T-30 makes a mistake. IS-3 coming around. No, it goes into a turret, but we actually bounce him as well from our side. How lucky was that? Holy shit. This was definitely a well-played game, but that ending was in the hands of the RNG gods for sure. All is well if it ends well though, and with that last IS-3 going up in flames, we actually took down an Ace Tanker, Radley Walters, Kolobanovs, High Caliber, Spartan Defender and Top Gun match. Jesus, that's a lot of medals. Looking at the team results, I have to say, while 4200 damage, 8 kills and close to 1300 base XP definitely count as a carry, actually both teams played rather well, with many of them scoring at least reasonably well. Unfortunately for the enemy team, however, there was one specific E1 on our team who simply refused to die. All in all, in these 9.5 minutes, we fired 19 shots, scoring 16 hits and 15 penetrations, though that one single bounce almost ended in disaster. We also managed to bounce 2 shots ourselves, which as it turned out was just enough to squeeze out a win from this match. Alright, this was then today's epic run in the mighty T54E1, courtesy of Crusader. Many thanks mate for sending in this replay and congratulations to an awesome match. I hope you guys did enjoy this replay as much as I did, and if so, thank you very much for considering giving this a like or sharing it. There is a lot more content heading your way this week, continuing tomorrow with a funny moment special on the latest convoy event. Thank you very much for watching everyone, and I look forward to seeing you again in one of the next videos.